Well, the Nottingham Forest game has now been played, and it was interesting. My name is Stephen Dawes, this is Palace of the Call. Don't forget to subscribe for more Crystal Palace news, views and reviews. And, as always, if you haven't seen the game yet, and you don't want me to spoil it for you, then do go and have a look, and then come back and see what I think about it. So, there was, I think everybody in the comments from my preview video understood that this was going to be a tough game for us. Our record with Nottingham Forest isn't the best, and also, you know, we're struggling ourselves. Although I felt that, you know, because they Nottingham Forest haven't had the best record at home so far this season, that I thought we might have a bit of a chance. And the lineup was slightly different in this game. We had Henderson at the back, of course. Lacroix was on the left hand side. You had Chalobah in the middle, Gehi on the right, and then you had Jefferson, Lerma just in front of them. You had Tyrek Mitchell, Kamada, Hughes and Munoz ahead of that, and then you had Eddie Nketiah and Eze ahead of that. So a little bit different. No Adam Wharton, no JP, and I felt that it was not a bad lineup, except for Kamada. I don't think that's his natural place. I don't think that he particularly does well in that position, but I was prepared to have a look and see what was going to happen. It was going to be a tough game. We all knew it was going to be a tough game, and it started out to be fairly even, I think. You know, we had periods of possession, Forest had periods of possession, and it was a hard fought game. I felt that we were working hard. I felt that we were trying to, as we have done in previous games, trying to move forward, trying to make things happen. But Nottingham Forest have got quite, you know, they're quite good in defence. They work quite hard, and I felt that we weren't necessarily having much impact going forward in terms of the final third of it. Now, that's not to say we didn't have chances. We had a very good chance from Eddie Nketiah, who had a shot ricochet off the post, which was it was a great shot, and I really do think that there is going to be a time when he's going to start knocking the goals in, because he's having more chances. He had about 3 or 4 chances in this game, and I feel that when that ball does go in the back of the net, I think that could be the start of something. I can't remember if it was a pundit or an old player once said, you know, what you just want it to go in the back of the net. It doesn't matter if it comes off your head, your backside, your knee. It doesn't matter. All you need is to get one in the back of the net, and then your confidence grows. And I think that's probably what's going to happen with him. I think get one in the back of the net, and I think then he might start to blossom a bit more. But he is trying really hard, and I feel that he's got a lot of talent. So I think that hopefully we can start to see some goals coming from him anyway. But most of the first half we were kind of taking chances from outside the 18-yard box. There wasn't a huge amount happening inside, which was a bit of a disappointment for me. But we were creating chances. We were trying to make things happen. But it was that last third, the final third. We just didn't quite have the answers. We were either passing to the wrong player, or we were getting bundled off the ball, or we were getting tackled or something like that. We just weren't able to get that ball close enough to put it in the back of the net. Now, of course, Nottingham Forest are, they're a good side. They've got a lot of pace, and I felt particularly down the right hand side we were struggling against the pace on the right hand side. There were a couple of times when we were we were up against it and trying to get back. We did a couple of fouls, got a couple of yellow cards, because we just couldn't keep up with the pace of that right side. So that was a bit of a disappointment as well, but not unexpected, shall I say. So that's kind of how the first half went. We had chances, they had a couple of chances, nothing really outstanding in terms of the game itself. It was just a very hard fought game. Second half was pretty much the same. I think Nottingham Forest came out a little bit stronger in the second half, and we were still trying to make things happen ourselves, still trying to play the ball around. Again, there were times we were slowing it down a bit too much, I think, and that was causing a bit of an issue with us. We did have another, and again, another very good shot from, this time from Eze, that the keeper made a good save, tipping it over the bar. Another good shot from Schlupp later on in the second half, when he came on, which again the keeper had to save. A point blank shot from Kamada, which the keeper saved. Probably should have put it in the back of the net, but you know, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. So you know, there was at least 3 opportunities we had to score a goal. So you know, I'm going to come back to that in a little bit. But so you know, we were creating chances, especially in that second half, and it was actually during a good spell for us that Nottingham Forest goal came, and it was a shot by Wood, and it kind of ricocheted off the ground a little bit. Whether Henderson was unsighted or whether he just made a mistake, I don't know, or whether he just misjudged the bounce of the ball. But anyway, it slipped through his hands and went into the back of the net. So that was a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, because I felt we had a pretty good run of the possession up until that point. So, and then you could see the players' heads dropped a little bit, but then we picked up again, and towards the end of the second half, we were starting to dominate again. But again, we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and this is the big problem I think that we're having. Is just, you know, whether it's luck, I don't know, whether we just need a little bit of luck, whether we're just not making the right choices, because I think sometimes we were passing the ball to the wrong players in that final third. There was one occasion which surprised me a little bit, and that was Eze. Nketiah it was in the second half. Nketiah had the ball down the left hand side, and in the box was Hughes and Munoz, and he crossed it to Hughes, who took a shot, and it unfortunately didn't go into the back of the net. I think it was saved or something like that. But I thought, well, I was looking for Eze, because I thought he's bound to be in the area somewhere. He wasn't sprinting, he was just running slowly towards the 18-yard box. I would have preferred him to have been at least 18-yard box, if not closer than that, because then Nketiah might have passed it to him, and he would probably have had a better chance of scoring the goal than Will Hughes, no offence to him. So that puzzled me a little bit. I know that, you know, there's a lot of pressure on Eze at the moment, because he's having the same situation that Zaha did, because he's the most talented player and the most creative player that we've got. Everyone's marking him out of the game, so then that takes that threat away. When it was Elise and him together, it gave us a bit more options, and it gave the opposition more problems. But now we've only really got him as the main playmaker, it's a bit more difficult. And of course, we didn't have the great range passing of Wharton in the middle there, which I think made it a little bit difficult. But I think Hughes did a good job in there, to be fair. And you know, it was one of those games where we could have won it 2 or 3-0, but in the end we lost it 1-0. So I'm not completely disheartened by the result. Obviously it's a defeat, and it's something that we need to think about, but I'm not completely disheartened about it. There were positives to that game. I felt that the players generally played well. I felt that Lacroix had another very good game, as did Gahey. I felt Hughes had a good game. Kamada was okay. He made a couple of very good passes, and he was trying to do his best at tackling and things like that, but it's not really his position. So you know, it would be great when we have Wharton and Doucouré in the middle there. I think we'll be a lot better when we have those two in the middle, but obviously we don't, and I think this is part of the problem that we have at the moment. We just don't have the players that can work to Oliver Glasner's style of play. And you could see on the touchline, he was getting quite animated. He was quite annoyed at times. Whether he was annoyed at the players or not, I don't know, or how they were playing, but he just seemed quite animated at times in the dugout. So, you know, you can see that he's disappointed, and he's perhaps a bit concerned that things aren't working out. But at the same time, it's I think that he will get given time. I think that Steve Parish believes in his project, believes in his vision. I think Steve Parish went out of his way, I think, to find him and to get him, and so I think he will put more faith in him. I don't think he's going to be going anytime imminently. However, even though I believe he will turn it around, I think he will do it. I think he will get there eventually, but it's how long it takes him to get there, and whether we have the time to allow him to get there. That's the problem I'm having at the moment. Whether we've got the time in terms of getting points before we can't wait any longer. But I do think that he can do it, and it might be a case of, you know, Steve Parish pulls the trigger, and then we get Wharton back, and we get Doucouré back, and we get, you know, a couple of other players back, get Richards back, and we're flying under a new manager, and everyone was like, oh, it was Oliver Glasner. It's a similar thing happened when Oliver Glasner stepped in. We got a lot of our players back from injury just after Roy Hodgson left, and then of course we had that amazing run. So, you know, I think there are other aspects to it. It's not just you know, the fact that Oliver Glasner might not be quite gelling the team very well. I think we do have other factors that are making it very difficult for us at the moment. But I hope that we can turn this around. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. What do you think about the game in particular? Do you think that it was a game that we really should have been winning, and on another day with a bit more confidence we probably could have won that game? Let me know what you think down in the comments section, and I will see you next time.